What's up guys, and welcome back to Krusty's Fabrication. On today's video we're going to jump back on the Subaru. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get our W mixed up. Usually we do 16 ounces of water to 1 scoop. I've got here about 24 ounces in my black Aura cup. So I'm going to do about a scoop and a half, like that. Give it a shake. Good for giving you the energy you need to work on your vehicles and stay motivated. It improved my mood health, so that's a good thing. And get you ready to go to the races. Now let's get to work. Alright guys, as you can see, we're getting ready to start doing the timing on this. Last video we got the timing all pulled apart, and at first it was looking like with this gear right here that I wasn't going to be able to tap these holes, because this tap right here didn't seem like it was going to fit. But I just kind of started looking online at the actual kit that they sell that comes with the tap that they specify. They do specify a 3-flute spiral tap. This is a 4-flute regular tap. I guess the spiral design allows for it to pull the shavings up so it don't get in there, but I've already tested one and it seems to work fine. Alright, so basically what I did is I put it on this little ratchet, stuck it in there, applied a little bit of pressure, and I just slowly worked it until I got it in there. And I kept checking the depth, make sure I was getting it just enough to where I had a tap, or the plug would go in flush. So with that being said, we've got 7 more holes to try to tap and get set up. I'm using this Lucas assembly lube as a lubricant to do the cutting, because I don't have any proper cutting oil, but it did work pretty good on that first hole. So let me get set up and we'll get the rest of them done. Now when it comes to this, the hardest part is getting it started. I think I just got it started. You got to try to be as straight as you possibly can going in, and you got to try to make sure it does not deviate from that straightness as much as possible. The proper way to do this is with that little handheld tap, so you don't put more stress on one side or the other. So that's why I'm kind of holding this, trying to keep it straight while I turn. Also, I'm not going too extreme. If I start feeling any sort of resistance, I back off, because I'm trying to make sure that I do not break this tap off in here. So I just go slow, small turns at a time. Pay attention to the resistance I'm feeling. If it feels like it's going to be too much and get in a bind, I back off. Like right there. I'm going to back off. That could be just a bunch of metal shavings being bound up, so I'm going to bring it out, clean it off. Being very liberal with the amount of oil that I'm doing here. This is starting to be a scary hole. I'm not getting very far before I start feeling resistance, so it makes me think I'm not going in straight like I'm supposed to. And I know I'm not anywhere near far enough So this is what I'm doing to check it. I'm putting one of the plugs on the Allen wrench and going into the hole and literally just threading it in, seeing how far it goes in before it stops. So that's about as far as I've gotten right there. Now the other hole, as you can see, when I come over here, I thread this one in. This is what the goal is. One more. Give it just a little bit. See, that one goes in pretty well flush. You can see it's not sticking out there. I want it to be kind of flush. That way I can get it to go in without interfering with the pulley. So that's the goal. Let's continue on. Guys, I've noticed something with this ratchet. I'm about to show you something here after I pull this out. So I don't know if you can see this. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. Duralast, that's an AutoZone brand. Full disclosure, I do work for AutoZone. These are guaranteed for life. But what's funny is this ratchet is acting kind of similar to like a torque wrench in a sense, to where if I get to a point where it's too tight or it's like resisting too much, it's been slipping, like the actual ratchet's been slipping and almost like popping. I did get a pretty decent amount out, so I want to check the plug and see how far she goes in. I think we're good on that one. Go all the way in. All right, 2 more on this side, 4 more on the next. Saw me do this one. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back when every one of them's done. Okay guys, I just wanted to bring you back for this real quick. I have to apologize to AutoZone and Duralast because it isn't the quality of the ratchet, it's the fact that the flange, or whatever you want to call it, the end type of the tap is square, and I'm using a normal socket style, like the hex or whatever they call it, regular socket. So if you watch right here where it says Duralast, and I come in here and I get to that point, it literally just slides, you know, it basically rounds over a little bit. So not the fault of the Duralast tool. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a stop on this. I'm gonna have to run up to work and see if I have enough money to get a proper tap holder. Also, if they got it in the size, we'll have to see. Until then, I want to go ahead and tackle this. Now, because I'm going on a factory ECU, I noticed that I'm gonna have to get rid of the wideband. I can use the wideband, but only for monitoring through the gauge. So I'd rather just go ahead and swap out to the regular O2 sensor that's factory. I'm also going to do the same thing with the oil pressure gauge. I've got the new oil pressure switch here. I'm going to go ahead and swap that out. That'll actually free up a little bit of room under the alternator as well. That's part of the reason why I built this custom adjuster here, is because I needed to lift that alternator off of that sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that swapped out. So let me go ahead and get this far up as I can. Get a little bit of space in here. think I might use this on another car in the future, so right now I'm just going to take it out and put it in storage, so to speak. I need to get this out as well, because that was like an adapter. I don't remember what the situation was behind that. I need to get that adapter out as well. Go get the proper tool. Okay, I don't know what size it actually is, so I got a couple sizes. Let's see, this is a 13 here. A little bit too small. That's a shame. That's a ratcheting wrench. There's a 14. That looks like it right there. Oh, that bad boy been in there for like 4 years, I think. Not quite like a stock sensor that's never been touched, but it was in there pretty tight. I guess I could have got a 14mm socket. Well, now that I know that this is a socket, let me go get that. Try to work smarter, not harder, right? Get the right tools for the job the first time, won't have that issue. Alright. Very simple replacement. I don't remember exactly what the difference was, but for some reason I had to swap this to this. Just out of curiosity, why did this not fit? Maybe it was a different thread. Like it's the same size, maybe it was just a different thread. Of course, I didn't try too hard either. Factory replacement part, at least from AutoZone, is going to be PS123. Now I did search. I originally found this one on a 02 WRX, which is what this intake is from, but I cross-referenced it to the body that the car is, which is a 93 Impreza L wagon. So being that they were the same, I'm guessing they used the same sensor pretty much well across the board, honestly. So try to get this in here without cross-threading. By the way, guys, best way to eliminate cross-threading is try to do it as much as you can by hand first, and then go from there. See if I can get a wrench, because if I'm not mistaken, I think that's like a 22. I'm not sure if I have that. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I did not have a correct socket or even wrench. It's not a 22, it's actually bigger. If I remember right, there is a specific socket you can buy for this. I don't have the money right now. I think it's like 1 1/8 or 1 1/16, something like that. So I'm just gonna go slow with these channel locks and run her on down in there. Alright guys, so we got the factory oil pressure sending unit installed. We actually got it plugged up just for now, because I know that's the one that goes to it. I think what I'm going to do to try to clean up this engine bay once I get the timing all done and everything back together, I think I'm going to remove this upper intake, and I'm going to run as clean as I possibly can all the wires, hoses, and whatever goes to here. I'm going to try to hide everything under the intake, run it as smoothly as I can. Whatever's not necessary to be in the engine bay, I'm going to run through that hole right there. I'm gonna put my little grommet on there so that it's proper and it looking. Holy crap. What's weird, guys, like, I don't know if that's showing up on camera on my hand, but what I'm seeing on the screen on camera on my hand looks a lot worse than it does in person. I promise you. That's weird. Okay. But yeah, I just try to clean everything up under here and get the intake installed back and everything. I got some more plans for this vehicle, but I don't want to say anything just yet because I haven't finalized those plans and procuring parts. So with that being said, I'm gonna go check on the tap tool that I need to finish this job, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I went to work and found a tap. I tried it out, and for whatever reason it did not want to hold the tap. So what I have done was I took that same socket that I was using, I don't know if you can see it, I just used some JB Weld to hold it in. Now I just did this, so I'm gonna let it cure for probably at least 24 hours, more than likely 3 days, because after today I gotta work 2 days and then I'm off the weekend. So as of right now, I'm just gonna use some red Loctite, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the plugs in that I already have tapped all the way. I've got plenty of other plugs I can use to test, and we'll go ahead and get that done right now. Okay guys, like I said, take a little bit of, oh, that's way too much. Take a little bit of red Loctite. We're gonna go into the first hole I tapped. Matter of fact, hold up, let me spread that a little bit better. We're gonna make sure this thing don't come out. And we're gonna take this bad boy. We're gonna go all the way flush with it. That way it ensures that that plug doesn't get into the cam and not allow the cam to sit properly. There we go. Let's go ahead and get a rag and wipe the gear off. Woo, don't want that to move too much. It actually needs to be up a little bit. Just try to be a little more respectful with the, there we go. This, I probably should have got like a gel or something. This stuff is so thin. And this is the second one that I got fully tapped. Make sure she's flat. Yep, good. This one's actually countersunk a little bit. That's good. Alright, so I got those two in. I still need to tap this hole. Well, this hole's mostly tapped. It's just got a little bit left to go. And I started tapping this one, and it's got quite a bit to go. But since we're at a stopping point, waiting on the JB Weld to hold the tap in, I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, I got these two put in. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the cam actually clears. Swap this down on there. Line up the little dowel pin. Just wiggle her on there. I believe that's gonna work. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on there for now, and then I'll go ahead and pull it off when we go to finish them taps. We'll come back here in a couple days and finish up. For you, it'll be like the next cut. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, we are back. It's another day, and off camera I went ahead and finished up the tapping and plugging of the cams. Let me show you on this side since I got the cam off. As you can see, they're all tapped and plugged. Hopefully that's coming in okay. I did have a problem with this one. I think it was this one right here. Because when I went to get the plugs, I got them from Ace Hardware. That's the closest place to me that had that kind of stuff. And they got those little boxes that have them in it. So I grabbed 8 because that's what I needed. Well, just so happened that the very last plug that I went to go put in was a 1024 instead of a 1032. so I wouldn't want to go in. So I had to just now go back and get one last 1032 plug, and I got that put in. I'm gonna go ahead, I just got this kind of sitting in place. I still got to put my seals in. I went ahead and got all of the timing components because it was under warranty anyway, so I just got a new timing belt, water pump, all the pulleys, the tensioners. Got my new cam seals here. Here are my new non-AVCS cam gear bolts. Got some blue Loctite. I'm not going to put the timing belt on today because I do have to order a part. During this whole process of looking and double checking timing marks and all this other stuff, I found out that I do not have the timing belt guide, which I didn't even know I was supposed to have. Apparently my motor came from an automatic engine, or an automatic car from in Japan, and they don't have them. So apparently if you're running a 5-speed, you have to have the timing guide. Okay, if you look right here, I've already got just a bolt here so I could check the threads. It was this right here, this bolt hole right here, and this one right here is where the timing guide goes on. It's like a little half moon shaped deal that just kind of comes over here and rides. I guess it holds from the timing belt being able to jump up and jump off the tooth. There's supposed to be some right here on each side as well, but I don't have the correct timing thing here, so I'm considering ordering some other timing covers, which makes me not want to do this because I'd have to take this off. However, I have seen other ones like this that don't have it, so I'm not sure what I want to do on that yet. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put the water pump on, put my pulleys on. I'm going to get my gears stuck in place, and then these gears, I'm probably just going to set those loosely in place. I'll get my, what you call them, my seals. Yeah, that's it. All right, and I went ahead and threw this in the hole just to check for the thing. These are just the timing bolts that hold them on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this set up. Alright guys, I went ahead and test fitted this. This is not torqued down. It's only finger tight. I just wanted to make sure it was going to go on there. Also, I decided to take a purple marker so I can kind of match the purple of the vehicle, and I went ahead and touched up every one of the timing marks just so I could make it easy to see. I also did it on the new crank gear as well as where it's supposed to line up to on the block. I did that for every one of them. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the water pump on and start putting my pulleys on. Also, if you're looking at this bolt right here and wondering what it is, this is for that longer small idler pulley. The other day I took that to work trying to find a grade 8 bolt so that I can match these, you know, gold style bolts, and I couldn't find one that was that size and that length. I was either finding one that was the next size longer or the next size shorter. Then I got to looking online and trying to find a grade 8 bolt for this, because I was thinking, man, this is not the right bolt. It's going to snap and that's going to cause me issues. But then I saw this. I don't know if you can read that. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to focus enough. Maybe there. 10.9. So what I was looking online is I was comparing this bolt to the grade 8 bolts, and I found out that this bolt is actually slightly stronger than a grade 8 bolt. So any of you that might get in the comments talking about you need to not use this bolt, just remember this bolt is slightly stronger than these bolts down here, so I'm good to go. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put the water pump on. Make sure to get this bolt, or this gasket. I don't know what this is actually for. I can't really see what it sits up against over here. One of the things you might notice is this is a non-turbo engine, but I'm using a WRX pump. It's got the 3 ports here. For the time being, I'm gonna just go ahead and either plug this one and this one, or get a hose that'll like loop it around for the time being. Also, I do have the wrong thermostat housing here, so I got to order a WRX thermostat housing so I can get this facing the proper way. But for now, I just got this on here to hold, 1, hold the thermostat in place, and 2, just kind of keep stuff out of it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this on. That was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I got it kind of wedged in there a little bit. Now I'm just trying to get the gasket on it in the correct location. I found myself having a hard time keeping the gasket like on, trying to get it in there, so I just trying it this way, which is also proving to be a pain in the butt. Keep in mind, this is my first time doing a water pump on this. The last time I did the timing kit, I noticed that I had a different style water pump, so I didn't change it. But now, with future plans, I decided to go ahead and get this one. And yeah, I think I got it lined up now. Push this bad boy in a little further. If any of you watching out there are more of a Subaru mechanic than I am and have done this before, let me know, is there an easy way to do this without having to take the motor out the car? Because I'd imagine probably is a hell of a lot easier if you got the timing cover off and everything. I thought I had one started, but I guess not. Now if I had the money to get some RTV, I would get some RTV and just use a couple dabs to, not to seal, but to hold this gasket in place. I wonder if Vaseline would do the same thing. I know I got some of that.
Are you serious?
Okay, got me a little bit of Vaseline. Don't know if you can see it. I don't know if this is gonna work, but if it doesn't, I'm gonna always wish it did. Whew. Riding a struggle bus today, boys. Put a little bit there. Squish it down. That might actually freaking work, dude. Looks like it's gonna work, guys. Vaseline maybe for the win. Let's get this bad boy pushed up in spot. Y'all, there is somebody pushing a dang grocery cart down the road. Nothing in it. I think I got it started. That one felt like it went in a little bit.
That's what she said.
Get a couple more started. Whoo! Almost feel like, what's that one song? Is it Rick Ross? Every day I'm struggling.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's what it feels like today, boy. Oh wait, no, it's every day I'm hustling is what the song says. Oh guys, so this bolt right here, when I went to go swap out, I almost forgot this one in my old water pump. I was lucky that I worked there because I just went back and got it back out, but I almost had an issue. Alright guys, so I did find the missing bolt hole. It was right up here above the ports here. I went ahead and got that installed. I went ahead and looked up the torque specs for the water pump. They say you do a first round at 8.9 and then a second round at 8.9. I don't have a 0.9 on my thing because I just have one of those old clicker ones. So I set it to 9. We're going for 9. Oh, there we go. Alright guys, I've been doing some thinking. I'm gonna go ahead and get these top pulleys pulled in, installed. I'm gonna save the bottom ones for when I actually put the belt on. But I think I am gonna change out these timing gear covers because I just want to be on the safe side, and I want to go ahead and get the covers that allow me to run the guides that are possible. So I'm gonna have to order the timing belt guides as well as those two sides of the rear timing covers. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the top parts installed. Of course. Now granted, this probably would be a hell of a lot easier if I removed the radiator. I went ahead and looked up the torque specs for these as well. There again, it's saying like 28.9 foot-pounds. Guys, 29. Just make it even. It's not like that 0.1 foot-pounds is going to make a big difference. Yeah, see? Okay, we good. We still moving. Cool. Next up is the small one. Also, I'm putting a little bit of blue Loctite on these bolts. This is that one I was talking about where it was slightly stronger than the grade 8 that I was looking for. Okay guys, that's as far as I'm comfortable going today. Like I said, I think I'm gonna go ahead. I need to order those timing belt guides, and I want to go ahead and order the rear timing covers as well, the inside ones. The fun part is going to be trying to get these lower cam gears off. So I think I might have to get a cam tool to like hold it. So if I can afford to get all that stuff here on this next payday, I'll go ahead and pick up after that. So be right back. Alright guys, I went ahead and I got one of my tools in for the timing. It's the one that holds the cam gears in place so I can bust the exhaust gears loose. I'm going to go ahead and get the cam gears all pulled off and get the inner cam covers pulled off so I can swap those out when they get here. Just going to go ahead and get these gears pulled off. Put the bolt back in so I don't lose track of it. Alright, so now I'm going to try to get this gear thing rigged up so it'll hold the gear in place as I try to bust it loose. I'm trying to use the frame of the body to hold it. This thing doesn't exactly fit perfect, Maybe it's because I cheaped out and went to eBay. I'll show you what I'm struggling with. So you see you got the little points there? I'm trying to line this up so it holds on to them points. Just a little bit of a struggle. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. We get this other side busted loose, we'll finish pulling them off. Seems quite a bit easier to put it onto the ones where the stars are on the outside instead of countersunk in. Let's hope it holds. Again, trying to use the body to hold it. There we go. Whew. Could you imagine? I paid $30 for this tool. For this tool on eBay, and this was the cheaper version, like the knockoff. I think the other one was like 50 or 60 for the name brand. Could you imagine needing to do that just to do that? Because I got a whole nother tool coming for when I tighten these. Well, actually, I probably will need them to tighten it, so get them torqued down to proper specs. Again, guys, we're changing out these because they don't have the provisions for the guides here. There's only one bolt that holds the front cover on. I need the one that has a bolt on each side to put the cam guides on. So that's why I'm going through all this, trying to swap them out. There we go. Now that one's been on there for a while. I might want to take a little bit of maybe some steel wool or something, because you can see it's starting to get a little bit of rust going. I might want to clean that up a little bit right there. Alright guys, so we got a couple bolts to take loose. Look like we got one here, here, here. I think that's for this side. Over here, look like we got maybe one down here, here, over here, there, and I think one up here. So let's get that done. One of these days I'm gonna get one of those electric ratchets. This one comes off nice and easy. Having this off actually gives me pretty good access for this, so I can get this put back on where it goes. So I got this hole I need to plug off. Same thing, it's over here. I gotta do the same thing there. Thought about looping it around, but I think I'm just gonna get the plugs and I'll get those done before I put this cover back on. It's about as far as I can go for today. I'm still waiting on the covers to come in the mail, so once those get there, I'm gonna put those on and get all that stuff done. I gotta find some 1/2-inch plugs. I'm gonna go ahead before we go anywhere and knock that off with some steel wool. I'll be right back. Yeah, let's come in here a little bit. Guys, that's another thing you can do, man. These 4-aught steel wool, really good at removing surface rust. And it's pretty gentle. I use it on glass sometimes to clean, especially if I'm like, forget to tape something and I overspray like paint or something like that. It'll lift it up and it won't really scratch too bad. But you got to get the 4-aught steel wool. I'm sure you could probably do this with like a wire brush too on like a drill or something, but I like to do this by hand and do more of a polish than like abrasion, if that makes any sense. As you can see, I don't know if you saw it before, but it's coming up nice and clean. Go ahead and hit this cam too, just to clean it off. Hit this cam over here. Alright guys, that's a good stopping point for today. I still got to pull the intake manifold off, get the wiring and stuff done. I'll probably do that in the next video, honestly. So we're not going to get a test start on this video. Still waiting on my covers to come in. That should be in sometime in the next day or so, hopefully. Got to get some brake clean to clean off the engine. I still got to get a thermostat housing for a WRX because I'm switching from the non-turbo water pump to the turbo water pump. What else do I got? Finished putting the timing belts on. You got to plug those holes, so I think I'm gonna try to get the timing done in this video before I end it, and then next video we'll swap over to the wiring and getting that done, and in the next video hopefully we'll get that test start. So yeah, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back. This is going to be probably the last piece of the video, this little segment here. I've got most of the stuff I need in to finish doing the VVT delete, or the AVCS, whatever you call it. I did get my covers, as you can see here. I already have the passenger side cover basically installed. This one was a nightmare trying to get. I ordered them both at the same time. But thanks to the wonderfully awesome United States Postal Service, which is what I'm waiting for again this time for my guides for the timing belt. I actually ended up getting a refund on that cover because it was lost in the mail and it didn't get here. It was like a week late, something like that. We ended up reporting it as lost. The company that I bought it from said, hey, if it isn't here by this date, we'll go ahead and issue a refund. I waited, that date came, I messaged them up, I was like, hey, I still haven't had it, got it, hasn't even updated yet. They was like, all right, we'll go ahead and issue a refund. So I got the refund, and it was like the day after the refund hit my bank, I actually got it in the mail. So free one, I guess. Okay. Now I'm just waiting on my valve, or my I started to say valve guides. I'm waiting on my timing belt guides. They're not quite late yet. They're expected here in 2 days. Tracking is saying that it's expected tomorrow, but it hasn't updated since it left the facility. So we'll see what happens there, and I'll probably have to put those on the next video. Also, as an update to stuff I've done, I went ahead, I got my WRX water neck, and I got these little 1/2-inch plugs. I had to order these special offline because they just do not sell them in stores. It's like the smallest ones they make is a 5/8, and those are a 1/2 inch. If it was this hose down here, it would have been a 5/8 and have been just fine, but 1/2 inch on this one, 1/2 inch on the one over here. Hopefully I don't have to pull this off and cut it back down when I put this in, but we'll see here in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and get those, add the gears. I'm gonna put Loctite on them, get them torqued down. I'll go ahead and put this cover on, get the gears on this one, get them torqued down, and get the timing belt on, and then we'll be good for the day. Alright guys, I got the blue Loctite put on there. I just want to make sure they ain't gonna back out. I've heard some people say anti-seize. It is whatever. I'm running this motor until it blows up, and I'm not gonna have to worry about taking it apart again. So blue Loctite on the cam gears. I'm gonna use my little cam tool to try to lock it down, and then everything I'm reading online says 55 inch-pounds, or oh no, sorry, 55 foot-pounds. So get my cheapy eBay special tool here. Hopefully it stands. And we'll just get to torquing. Hopefully I'm not too much in the way. Okay, good on that one. Alright, those ones are torqued. Alright guys, now let's go ahead and get this put on. Hopefully this slips in here and doesn't interfere here. That's the only thing I'm really concerned with. See if we can get this on here. I remember it being a pain in the neck. What I might do is I might take the bolt loose here, see if I can push this out of the way. Should make it a little easier. Then we can get down in here. Pop this loose. Hopefully this will give me a little extra room to get in there, and it won't be too much of a pain in the butt to put back on. Alright, I'm gonna try to survive the one remaining gasket I have for this thing. We'll see if it works. See if I can slip this on down in there. Maybe without it first. Almost. There we go. So guys, what I'm fighting with is it's just barely, I mean, it's apparently a tight fit. If this little lip here wasn't here, it'd be so easy, but that looks like it's built as part of the front of the engine, so I don't know how I'm supposed to get that on there without like taking the whole engine apart. Let's see if I can use maybe a flat tip screwdriver to kind of get a little prying done, fit it like a tight tire. Hey, that worked. There we go. Ha ha! Simple tools and some ingenuity. Eventually I'll get the rest of the plastics and get the gaskets that go on this thing. But for right now, I'm not worried about it. I've actually driven cars around quite a bit without having proper timing covers, and I've never really had a problem with it. Matter of fact, the car I drive as a daily driver right now has no timing covers. And I've been driving it for, well, I think I put that motor in the end of 21 or 22. I forget what exact year it was, but I know it was like right over Thanksgiving. Thankfully, it doesn't look like I'm hitting the coolant plugs that I was worried about. Okay, that's gonna rattle like crazy if I don't get something in there. I might have to find that gasket. Let me get that. Oh, I found it. Okay, we'll get that gasket stuck in there. Hopefully it'll take up some of that slack and not rattle. Ha! Perfect. All the way to the ground. I don't know if y'all saw that. Ratchet fell right behind this, all the way to the ground. By George, I think we've done it. All right. This is easier than I expected. All right. Let's get these bad boys torqued, calibrated elbow style. That looks about good there. That looks about good there. I'm gonna go ahead and spray a little WD-40 on these. One, try to protect the surface from getting that surface rust again. And two, maybe just add a little bit of lube. All right, let's get a little bit on there. About out of this one. That should be good. All right. Okay, let's start with the bottom one first. Get that bad boy lined up on that thing. Lock that on that thing. There we go. Now this one I don't want to spend too much, because from what I understand, everything that I was seeing, the intake cam, you don't want to spin this way. The exhaust cam, you don't want to spin that way. So this one I'm going to have to be careful, because this one's already wanting to be this way. They kind of spring back to like a resting position. Alright, torqued on there pretty good. Now comes this fun little tool. This is my cam lock tool. It's magnetic operated there, and it bolts onto this. That's really all there is to it. Its purpose is to, you take these deals right here, the magnetic part is the same 10mm Allen style as the tool that you use. Literally just goes in here, holds in by a magnet. So I'm gonna get that set up. I just noticed something too. Seems I might have an offset, because I got a spacer on one but not on the other. That might be for I'd have to look at it, but that might be for the AVCS. Okay. Now, let me get ready. So I'm thinking I go like this. Get her lined up. Dead on. Do not let it slip. And then we gotta get her tightened down here. And then supposedly, this tool, you son of a bitch. All right, see if I can get this in there without flipping on me. There we go. Supposedly this tool right here locks these in place and won't let them move, so you don't get your timing belt slipping when you put it on. I guess it's only needed on this side. That's the only side that I've ever seen it put on. So now what we're gonna do, just to keep ourselves able to track the belt, you'll see it's got lines, and these lines indicate up with the same marks. And you'll see this dotted line, that right there goes to the crankshaft. So let's get this put on. Just gonna go ahead and start at the crankshaft. That one on there. I forget kind of how all these go, so I might have to look at a picture. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I figured out what it was I was missing, and because I see these two gears so tight together, and I was like, why is it like that? But this literally fishes in right in between these like this. And this one goes up under here. With any luck, that one lines up on that line. Come on down here. Up. Fish it around there, and this one should line up on that line, which it looks like it does, so that's good. All right, now we go over to this side. Bring this bad boy over here. Now these are off just a little bit right now. Spin them back into place. Lines up. This one back where it goes. This one will be a little bit harder to see, but as long as I get those notches on the cam gear lined up, this one should line up. You see. Looks like we're lined up good. Okay. So this is where it becomes fun. This has got to go up over here. Got to get this out of the way. This goes up over here, and then we got two more gears to install. All right, so the two gears that we got to install are this one, a tooth gear, and this one, a small gear. From what I understand, the small gear is best to go on last. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. That's getting the shorter bolt. We're gonna get this bad boy installed. Now I notice this is indented here, a little bit raised there. I'm believing that that part right there that's raised up needs to go against the blocks, kind of like a spacer. So we're gonna put our little Loctite on there. And get her stuck into place. This one we're gonna have to push down, kind of roll it into place. Help if you have something to hold it up. I saw somebody using like some binder clips to help hold it up, and it's actually not a bad idea. I wish I'd have thought of that when I had the chance. All right. Try your best not to cross thread this, because you got to put a little bit of tension on it. So when in doubt, go by hand as far as you can. Looks like we're good there. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this one torqued down. Again, I got this one set to 29 foot-pounds. I think it's like 28.9, but I don't have a point. There we go. All right, so this is going to be by far the hardest one to get on. But after this, pretty much time is done. But I'm going to leave this pin in for now. Once I get the this last pulley in, I'm going to leave this pin in until I get the timing guides put on. That way I can put the car in neutral and just kind of give it a couple revolutions around and make sure she's good before I actually try to test fire. So let's get this bad boy stuck on. Okay, so here comes the fun part. Attempting to get this in there. I think somebody said it's easier to get if you got like a extension on the socket, so you can use it as leverage. That's gonna be too long of a socket, or a 3-inch. I would love to have that much leverage, but radiator's in the way. And I don't feel like taking the radiator out. All right. Think I got it. We see if it's starting. I don't think it's starting. I think I got it started. Okay, yeah, she started. Okay, pull this off to the side. closer. Still pretty easy, so I didn't cross thread it. All right. Again, 29 foot-pounds. I'll give it just a little more because I do got a little bit of an extension. We'll give it about that much. All right. All right, guys, there's the timing belt on. You got the dotted line at the crankshaft. As you can see, I've marked my timing belts, timing marks with purple. Dot there, matches up with the dot there. Got the timing mark here. Lines up with the line on the belt going up to the notch on the thing here. Then down here it's a little harder to see, but that one should line up with the notch on the cover as well as the line. I don't know if it's showing the line. It's actually not lined up, so I'm gonna have to redo that. See how it's a half a mark off? That slipped when I put it on. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, I got it fixed. So as you can see, right down there we are lined up. What I had to do, apparently this had shifted or something when I pulled it tight. So what I did was I advanced this maybe about a half a tooth like this way. And then when I pulled the belt, I made sure that that line lined up with the line on the thing, and I pulled it tight from down here, and it slid into position. And then I just repeated everything over here. This cam gear does look like it's about a half a tooth off from this cam gear, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have the line from the belt lined up to the line that's over here, and everything works here. So the only thing I could think of is manufacturer defect. Maybe this is off just slightly. So what it is this right side, because this is the double line side, the right side on this is lined up with the left side on this, so it's almost like it's just a single line. But as you can see, if you look down through here, that top one's perfectly lined up. You look down through here, that top one is perfectly lined up. So according to that, everything's done. The only thing I got to do is add the timing belt guides. Also, one of the things I did that probably caused it to jump when I was putting the belt on was I had the bolts that are supposed to hold the timing guides on the valve covers, or on the valve ones. So I took those off for the time being. We'll worry about getting those put on when it comes time to put the guides on. So with that being said, guys, we're running up on basically being out of time to get this month's video out because I've been waiting on these parts all month. So this is Tuesday, the Tuesday before release, which is on Sunday, I think it is. I'm not expected to get my timing guides in until Thursday. I don't know how weather's going to hold out on Thursday. I don't know if it's going to come on time and be here on Thursday, so I'm going to just call this video done here. And then in the next video, we'll get the timing guides installed. We'll kind of show you what I've already done to the vehicle, because in my spare time of waiting, I just went ahead and started filming next month's video as well. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get you caught up to what everything I've done with the wiring and stuff is concerned. You can see I don't have it run through the firewall anymore, so it just a lot of stuff I got to catch you up on next month. We'll get those timing belt guides installed, show you everything that I've done so far here, and then cross our fingers, it starts. Because I do believe the only thing keeping me from test starting this vehicle right now is those timing belt guides. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think I got all the wiring done, which you'll see in the next video. I do got a couple plugs to identify, which I haven't done so yet, which might be part of the turbo stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I got to make some form of intake to get this attached to the throttle body. I'll probably just do a shorty piece for then, you know, just for the startup. After we get the startup, maybe in another video, we'll get the bracket made so that I could permanently mount my fuel pressure regulator. I've got some other mounts to make for stuff that I'm just gonna kind of cleanly mount, and then this thing will be on the road. That being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video here. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to that, that 1,000 subscribers. I also need a little bit of watch time. So if you're liking my videos, maybe you like the car that I'm working on, you know, hit the subscribe button. We got a lot more coming. And like the video, that always helps. Comment down below. Let me get some interaction. Let me know what you're thinking. And until next time, have a good day. Peace. GoPro, stop recording.